Good afternoon, everyone. This is the Joys of Living Great. We're here on the Win-Win Women's Television Network. We're so happy to be here. And as you know, every Thursday at this time, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we're here to bring you joy. There are so many ways, so very, very many ways for all of us to know how to have joy, how to keep joy, and how to share joy. And here at the Joys of Living Great, our mission is to share the joy that we have and the joy that we've known with women around the world. Today, because we are coming to the end of a year, we are actually in the process of talking very much about what it is that we've done during this year. The Joys of Living Great actually started as a program on Win-Win Women's Network in July of this year. At that time, we were so excited about what we were doing. And those of you who have been following us and listening to us and coming in every week, you may have said at the very beginning, oh, I don't know about those ladies, because we actually, when they say, you get better as you go along, let me tell you, we've gotten better as we go along. We have improved. We have found the things that work well for us. We've tried several things. We tried scripting. We tried individuals doing this and this one doing that, and now it's your turn. But do you know what works best for our joy? Because all of us have joy and all of us bring joy to you. What works best is for us to just get together in this, our little, the Joys of Living Great living room on Thursday afternoons and talk to you, woman to woman. We are so happy to tell you about those conversations that we've had all year long. I have a special one, and I'm not going to be the first one to talk about the program that I thought that I really, really liked. And I want, because I have some special things I want to tell you about that program. So whoever wants to talk about their program first, just go right ahead.
I'll start. The one that I felt was most dear to my heart was Thanksgiving Day, because I was led to minister to those that are hurting, those that are not having, we were trying to help those that, have lost a lot of people, and even through divorce or through death. So we encourage them on just doing what you feel you want to do on your holiday. Don't force yourself to do things you don't want to do. So that was dear to my heart. And it was also precious to me because I was led by the Spirit. The Lord laid that on my heart, for us to talk to those people. So I know, and out of obedience to Him, it's always going to do well. Once you do what He gives you to do, it's going to do what it's supposed to do. So that's why that one is very precious to me. And we've talked about so many great things. They've all been great, but that one left, it's just dear to me because I know what it feels like. So
I think if I recall back, Elena, and correct me if because my memory can get foggy, but that was the one where you suggested that we reach out as a group to people who may have Thanksgiving alone, because not everybody has, a whole host of family around them on Thanksgiving. Wasn't that your thought?
Yeah. Yes.
Good. I thought so, because we thought that after we talked about it among ourselves, that it was important for people to know that even if you choose to be alone on Thanksgiving,
It's okay.
That was okay, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And it isn't, so it didn't matter. You did not have to be with a lot of people. And I think during that episode, do you remember the date of that? It was
Yeah, November 24th.
November 24th.
24th.
So anyone who wants to watch the November 24th show, you can watch it on Win Win Women Television, or you can go to the Joys of Living YouTube channel, watch it, click the subscribe button, let us know that you've watched it, and give us any comments that you have. But in that show, Elena even mentioned that there was a time in her life when she was alone, but then she felt that she didn't want to be with family and had Thanksgiving with some friends instead.
Yes.
And that's okay too. So it doesn't matter how you celebrate Thanksgiving. The point is, be grateful for everything.
Yes.
And in every way.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody else? What was your favorite show, Katrina?
Mine was the first one during November, was November 3rd, the month of gratitude, where we tried to, we talked about, had a conversation about how gratitude had been developed in each one of us. And each one of these lovely ladies, my co-hosts, had gave an example or even used a scripture to describe somewhat of how the gratefulness was developed in them. And they must have had, either read their word daily or have a relationship with God, because they said some very, very good things about how to show gratitude, where you concentrate on the things that are good as opposed to those things that are not so good. And those are the things that you talk about and that you look forward to show gratitude even towards others. So others can see that you're grateful and that they may follow suit, show how they're grateful for something. And we always knew that it's easy to be dissatisfied about anything on any given day in these times, especially that we're living in. But to show gratitude takes something special. And then you have to, we came to the conclusion that you have to work at it. You have to desire to want to show your gratitude, your gratefulness. And the November was the gratitude month, and I just really loved it. That was just a great time and a great expression from each one of my co-hosts.
That entire month of November, that Thanksgiving show that we just talked about was in that month. That entire month was off the chain. The month of gratitude. We were so grateful. And then everybody during the month, we all had different ways of expressing how we were grateful.
Yes.
But it brought out to us and to our audience that no matter what it is, no matter how small it is, always be grateful. Be grateful. I'm grateful just to open my eyes every day.
Yes.
You got to be grateful.
Yes.
And you really have to sincerely want to be grateful. And your gratefulness shows too.
Thank you.
I want to tell our audience the show that I wanted to talk about, they may not be able to see because we had such terrible technical difficulties. And I'm not saying this to say that the show was not good, because it was excellent. This was the show where Regina actually suggested, because it was around the time of Veterans Day, that we honor those who have served, those of us, those who protected us, those women and men who actually gave of their time, gave their service to be sure that we could still enjoy the freedoms that we do in this country. So that particular show is not one that's on Win-Win Network, we put it up on the YouTube channel, so you can still watch it. But when the squeaking goes and the noises make, come through, just say, well, they told me they had technical difficulties. But if you are able to just hear the two veteran women who were on and why they were serving and what joy that service brought to them, what it meant to them. If I recall now, if you all tell me if you recall, I think both of them were getting away from home for one reason or the other.
Yes, yes.
They were both, one was, she was heading to college, and the only thing she knew in her mind was that she was not going, when she graduated from high school, she was not going to stay at home. So her avenue to get to higher education was the service said that they would pay for her education. So she went in, she did her time, she gave her service, and she got her education paid for. And the other one, I believe, she said she just wanted to get out, just get away from everybody. So she went and joined the service and did her service. Both of those ladies, though, expressed how the being in the service actually developed their character, their their joy. It created for them the kind of person that they are today. So we thank them and salute them again. If you two are listening, if you're watching this broadcast on a replay or on the YouTube channel, thank you so very, very much for what you gave us as we honored veterans. I am excited about the fact that there are so many shows and we can't cover them all. But Brenda, Regina, what show stood out for you?
For me, it was our August 11th show. We were in our series concerning back to school. And we had the show on August 11th that said, everyone was a teacher. And I tell you, my co-host did an excellent job of demonstrating how everyday life, we are teachers. Brenda started us out by beginning to tell us how that was her chosen profession and what she was doing to prepare, or what she did to prepare her students for the new year. And as we went through the different, just conversing amongst each other, we all realized that we have a responsibility to share what we know with others, and that it comes naturally. We have several ways of being a teacher. It can be by demonstration, by actually instructing, and actually by passing things on. It's so important that we share. And I'm so grateful for the women here on the Joys of Living Great, because they have taught me something just over these few months that we've been together. God has gifted this panel so much with so many different gifts that they just share. We share in our production meetings. We share, I think on 2 or 3 occasions, Brenda and I were on the phone sharing till like 5 a.m. in the morning. And I learned so much from Brenda that day. And even out there in our audience today, if you really want to hear some good instruction, go to our Faye Horton's, her Facebook page, where she does instructional teaching. So it was a very, very, very important show for me. And we really, really, really emphasize that each and every one of us has a gift. God has given us a gift, and it's our responsibility to share that gift, to teach others, to make sure our peers know what we know, to make sure our children that we train up our children in the way that we should go. And each of us have something that we can teach another. And age has no barrier, race has no barrier, sex has no barrier. We learn from everyone because everyone is a teacher.
That's for sure.
And I'd like to piggyback off that. I enjoy talking to her. I enjoy talking to all of you, and I can talk. But anyway, yes, my favorite one was September 29th, and that's the joys of education. So when you talk about the joy of education, you need to know that everybody uh as I can't think now, as you just said, okay, as you just said, everyone is a teacher, yes, and it's in his or her own right, but you have to have a passion for teaching. And, if you don't do that, then you're not going to love anything. You're not going to even like it. It's just going to be another thing that you do. So my passion is for teaching, it still is, to impart knowledge. So that's what I do. And the joy of education means, I can think of a scripture in the Bible where it says in Hosea 4:6, it says, my people were destroyed for lack of knowledge. So we want to understand that we all want to gain knowledge because we don't know everything. Teachers don't know everything. I taught my students, I said, you know what? I may be your teacher, but I don't know everything. And I'm not supposed to know everything. Nobody's supposed to know everything. And as Lady Regina said, you have to have a love for teaching. You have to have that. And if you don't have it, you might as well not even do it. And you know what? We do it unto God. I taught unto God. We have to do everything unto God. So I taught unto God. Those students were entrusted to me by God. So I had to do that and say, okay, God, hey, you gave me these students, you've entrusted them to me. So I have to impart the knowledge that you're allowing me to impart to them. So that's the joy, to me, the joy of education. We have to be educated, especially in this world. Everything is changing and education is the key. There used to be a thing saying, I don't know, there was a commercial saying, a mind is a terrible thing to waste. Well, it really is. A mind is a very terrible thing to waste. We need to have education in all areas of our lives. So that was my favorite show. And that was on September 29th. And I'm sorry, Regina, I forgot your name, but Lady Regina. But yes, that was my favorite show. Thank you.
You know what? I think we're all a bunch of talkers because I have been on the phone with Brenda and both of us have said at the beginning of the conversation, I only have a minute, because and Brenda always has a lot to do and I have a lot to do. I only have a minute, but I just want to tell you, I wanted to tell you this, and we have been on the phone for hours. I think she talks, yes, and that's great. I love her for it. I really do.
That is the joy. That's the joy. I love talking. I love people. I love all of you ladies. And the whole thing is, I've never met you. And that I call God the great connector because he's connecting us through so many different ways in the media. And I can't even fathom. People are saying, you don't know these ladies? I know them by talking to them and having meetings with them and, on the phone, but I don't know you. I've never met you in person. And I just feel that I know you heart to heart, rest of us. I just know you and I love you. It goes for all of you.
I think we all feel that way. And I probably live, I don't know, your brother may live in the same community where I am, but we've never met. But that's just the way the world is now. But that, ladies, Women of Win-Win Women Television Network, this is proof that we can all share, enjoy around the world, no matter where we are. We don't have to have personally or physically have met each other. Once you come into the Joys of Living Great and start to actually participate and be here to hear about us, to join in when you are available to do so, you will have the same feeling. I can assure you, Crystal, I know you had a special um, session. Which one was it?
Yeah, I did. Listen, just to say off the top, all of the shows were magnificent to me. What the content, what we talk about, what we share. But the one that hit for me, so I'll go all the way back to the beginning when we first started and we started talking about how to get joy, how to maintain the joy, and how to share the joy. I think our premise of joy, was kind of made clear there. And that for me, specifically how to share joy. I believe that when we did on July 28th, I believe. And I tell you, the show for me, it covered, because you have to share joy no matter what comes your way, no matter what life presents to you. If you have joy, you have to put it to work. That's how you make it. That's how you maintain. That's how you get up and are able to face a day and complete a task when you're maybe at your lowest point. This is how, one of the ways God can lift your head, so to speak, because he is the lifter. His love and that joy lifts your head. But I tell you, we talk specifically about how to share joy in a time of grief. And ladies, look, I know all of us have been touched in these last 4 to 5 years with some, it seemed like insurmountable things to deal with as far as grief and loss. And the fact that it's therapeutic to actually give joy, share joy in your own grief to someone who is grieving. That's the main point, I think, that really, because honestly, it was therapeutic even talking about it that day on the show. It was like, again, another therapy session. Again, another way to work through something that seems like, God, I can't do this. I can't keep doing this. Why does this keep happening? And we supposed to have joy. How are we going to do that, God? Have joy what? Now? Too much loss around us. There's too much going on. What? God, I need to understand something before I can even share anything. I don't even feel joy right now. How much share? But when I tell you, you take, I think a point we brought out is that when you take and process your stuff, go before God, sit in that chair, wherever you pray, in that closet, and you process your thing, get through your thing, because at the end of the day, to whom much is given, much is required. We have people that we have to help. People need what we have. I believe Regina said as much that we all like, and we're finding that out about each other, by the way, by doing this project, by stepping forth in faith and completing assignment that God gave all of us to complete. But when I said, God, that's the toughest thing I've had to do in my life, was watch one of my good friends and one of my first cousins, and it was just insurmountable, the amount of people that left here. For our viewer, Gladys lost her only child. And I'm like, God, okay. And then, mourning with those who mourn, weeping with those who weep. And then we feel the impact because we were kind of close with her. You understand? So it's so much, so it's multifaceted what we have to push through, and the feelings that we have to kind of get in check before we can even offer forth a joy to someone who's hurting for those reasons, for a permanent loss. But I thank God, first of all, for the joy. Second of all, for the hope that we have in Jesus, that we're going to see him again. Those things help to maintain that joy. As we give it in a manner, we get it back.
That is so wonderful, Crystal. Thank you so much. The first 3 shows were actually, you're absolutely right. How to get joy, how to keep joy, and how to share joy. We have a few moments left before our broadcast is over for today. And I would like to invite any of our audience who is now looking at watching live or with us today, is there a particular show that you felt really felt that's the show that was driven to you. That's the message that was for you. I encourage any of our audience to just open your mics and let us know for a minute or two. You don't have to talk long, but let us know if there's a show that really resonated with you, then share it with us. We have some people here with us who are in our audience and viewing live. Don't be bashful. If you feel that you want to share with us, please do. Go right ahead. If you don't feel that you want to share with us, you can also put your favorite show or favorite topic in the chat. Now, one of the things when the ladies were talking about education and everybody being a teacher, I wanted to just point out that we actually did the joys of teaching, or everything centered around education, for 2 months. 2 whole months, August and September was all about that. So teaching is certainly a part of what we do and what everyone does, and everybody has a role in doing that. Your assignment in life or your purpose in life, you may not know exactly, but when you think about it, you're teaching somebody something. Everybody's teaching somebody. And we tried to cover during those 2 months, everyone who would have had any part of education. We did the children, the grandchildren, the parents, the teachers, the administrative staff. We tried to cover every facet. But the real deal is, as Regina said, everyone is a teacher. We're going to close today's program with that. But before we close, I want to let you know that, and this is where I'd also like to invite you to have your friends, family, join us the first Thursday in January, when we will be kicking off a new project that is so exciting, and it is something that all of you will want to know about. People make New Year's resolutions. We're not doing resolutions. What we're doing is something that can stick with you throughout the entire year. Join us that first week in January for the Joys of Affirmations. Be with us during the month of January as we talk about affirmations, and we ask you to share your affirmations with us. Before we close today, there are still a couple of days left in December, and December is the month of giving. If you have not given already, Regina, do you have that website handy where everyone can go? And we're asking, give whatever you can, whatever it is, $5, $10, $20, whatever, so that we can hit the goal that we set for Samaritan Purse and Operation Christmas Child. I think I might have okay, this is the website. It's HTTP, and if someone wants to type it in the chat as I give it, it's http:// fundraise.samaritans with an S on Samaritans purse.org/fundraiser/4316199. So this way, if you haven't given already, you'll be able to contribute. All of the funds go directly to Samaritan Purse to actually buy and put together the boxes that are given to underprivileged children throughout the world. So this money is not going to the Joys of Living Great, just so that you're clear about that. It is for Operation Christmas Child through Samaritan's Purse. Thank you, ladies, and I pray blessings and joy to each and every one of you. Have the best New Year's celebration and the most prosperous and healthy New Year. I will see you next year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Blessed New Year.
Happy New
Happy
Year.
New Year.
Blessings.
Bless everyone.
Happy
Be
New Year,
safe.
everybody.
God bless.
God bless. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.